we lived down in the valley, and that's when I wanted to have a horse, so I could have a horse to ride and stuff down there. We had plenty of acreage and stuff for it, but I never got my horse, so I had to stick with just chickens and ducks and dogs and cats and stuff. But anyway, unfortunately, the two dogs, we had a little fuzzy dog too named Tiger.
Okay.
And so Tiger and Sandy ended up getting poisoned down in the valley. Some maniac was going around throwing poisonous meat at animals, and our neighbor told us about it, and I said, well, at least we still got our dogs and stuff, and so I thought I better go and check on them, and I went and checked on them, and they had been poisoned and they were dead. So that was very traumatic for me when I was just a little kid to find that. But anyway, Sadie survived, and she was part Chihuahua, and just like a little lady. She'd sit with her legs crossed even. She was just, and she could smile and do kind of tricks like that. But we had her, gosh, until I went into nursing school. So she came even from the valley clear up to the heights when we moved, and she was just a really good pet. And then let's see, after that, well, then I don't think I had any pets after that. I got into nursing training and was in apartments and things that couldn't have any pets.
No, you got to tell me about the chicken story first.
Oh, I forgot about
Rusty.
Yeah, I bypassed the chickens. Well, it was a very, very sad story because we had 47 chickens. And don't ask me what possessed my mother and grandmother to decide to kill them all at once, but I guess my mom had bought this freezer, and she decided, they were getting too much to take care of, and so she would just go ahead and they would just butcher them, and we'd just put the chickens in the freezer, and we'd have them for whenever. Well, so I thought, I saw how they were butchering them. They were cutting their heads off, and they'd tie their legs and cut their heads off and stuff, and my grandmother sat there with a big bucket of boiling water that she was putting them in after they'd have their head chopped off, and that loosened the skin so they could pull the feathers and stuff out of them. That was just too much. I didn't like that. And one of the neighbors' people came over to help to cut the heads off and stuff. And that was just, so I found Rusty and I hid him. But they knew that we were going to do that because I had said, you're not doing that to Rusty and stuff. So I let the whole cat out of the bag. But anyway, we hid Rusty and stuff, and they finally just, when they got to the end, they said, we need to do Rusty and stuff. Well, they went to do him, and they tied his legs, and I don't know if they were just nervous doing Rusty because Philip and I cared so much about him or what, but they didn't tie his legs very well. And they ended up cutting his head off, and then he started running around the yard with no head. And I was so happy. I said, didn't kill Rusty. And then I looked down and he didn't have a head on him, and that freaked me out. Couldn't believe it. And he was running around with no head. Oh, I just couldn't believe it. I had nightmares after that, and I wouldn't eat any chicken for a long time after that because I didn't know which one of those in the freezer was Rusty. Oh. So I wouldn't have anything to do with chicken for a while. And boy, my brother even was upset about the whole thing. So that was the story of poor Rusty. But he used to come to the back door and he'd scratch and beg for food. And same with the duck. I had a pet duck. And fortunately, we didn't kill the duck too. But although I don't remember whatever happened to him. But I had this pet duck, a big white duck. I mean, you try to hold on to him, and he was just huge. But we had a lot of fun with him too. But they're messy and stuff. I don't know what we ever even did with them. But anyway, that was the saga of poor Rusty. And even to this day, sometimes I'm not real fond of chicken because of Rusty.